In this video, we'll be exploring the different types of networks and the factors that affect their performance. Networks are collections of interconnected nodes that are linked together to share resources such as data or printers and scanners. The word node is a network term that essentially just means a device that's connected to the network. We can determine the type of network based on the geographical area that the network exists in. Wide area networks, or WANs, are networks that cover a vast geographical area and have infrastructure that's owned by multiple businesses. The internet is an example of a WAN, as it's a network that covers the globe. Local area networks, or LANs, are networks that cover local geographical areas such as your school or home network. You also have PANs, or personal area networks. These are networks that stay within the range of an individual person, such as a Bluetooth connection which may only have the range of around 10 meters. We can also categorize networks based on how the devices interact within the network. Client-server networks are networks with two distinct types of devices, clients and servers. Clients are the devices that request resources or services such as web pages, files, or data from servers. Servers, on the other hand, are dedicated nodes that provide resources to the clients upon request. Servers typically have higher processing power, storage capacity, and specialized software to fulfill the client's requests efficiently. Peer-to-peer networks, on the other hand, are made up of nodes that have equal capabilities and responsibilities. These devices can act as both clients and servers, meaning that they initiate connections to request resources or services from other devices, and also provide resources or services to other devices on the network. Peer-to-peer networks are commonly used for file sharing, collaboration, and decentralized applications. The main factors that impact the performance of a network are bandwidth, latency, number of devices, and the error rate. The bandwidth of a network means the amount of data that can be transferred on a network at any given time. This is measured in bits per second and is often called the bit rate. It's important to stress here that the bandwidth is a measure of how much data is transferred per second and not how quickly the data travels on the network. Latency is the delay between a device sending some data and another device receiving the data. The higher the latency, the slower the data is being sent around the network. Latency is caused by bottlenecks within the infrastructure of the network, for example, from not using switches to properly segment the traffic on the network. The number of devices using a network can also impact its performance. More devices means that more data is being sent over the same cables. As a result of the amount of data increasing, there becomes more congestions and collisions on the network, which makes the transfer even slower. The reliability of the network connection also impacts its performance. If errors occur within the data being transferred, then the data will have to be resent until it's received correctly. This both increases the amount of time that it takes for the data to be received, and also increases the amount of traffic on the network, which can slow things down even more. So there we have it. In this video, we've covered that networks can be categorized in terms of their geographical size, using PAN, LAN, and WAN, as well as in terms of how their nodes interact within the network, either through a client-server or peer-to-peer connection. We've also covered how the performance of the network can be impacted by the bandwidth, latency, error rate, and the number of devices using the network. So that's the end of this video. If you'd like to test your knowledge and access other lesson resources, then make sure to head on over to revisio.uk.